Salutations, crustaceans. I'm Lobster, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit interesting. We're going to be modding our Glarry GJazz II. Let's do this. This is the Glarry GJazz II. Now, I've already reviewed this bass and I gave it a 3 out of 5 claw rating. It's a pretty average value for $150. It's not the best bass in the world, but it's far from being the worst bass as well. Featuring a basswood body, Wilkinson pickups, and Glarry hardware and a Glarry neck, which is a maple and maple neck this time around. It's a bass, and it actually sounds pretty good with these Wilkinson pickups. For around $150 or so, you know, you could definitely spend your money in worse ways, so this is a decent enough bass. Now, this is a budget bass, and we are going to be doing a very interesting upgrade to this bass. This right here is the J-Tone preamp from John East, coming in at around $165 plus shipping, I believe, from John East himself, or $185 from Best Bass Gear. This is the entry-level John East preamp. It features a volume and blend control, but can also be configured for volume and volume, a 2-band treble and bass control, as well as a passive tone control that's a push-pull for a preamp bypass. This can be run passively. This is a drop-in replacement unit for jazz basses, and I'm very excited to check this out. So I thought, budget preamp, budget bass, a bass with some decent sounding pickups, mind you. We'll be able to explore the features of this preamp and also see what sort of improvement we're going to get with our Glarry bass here. I will also work on the pickup heights of this bass a little bit, as they are kind of a bit wonky right now. That's how it came from the box, and they are kind of wedged in there. So while I have this bass on my bench, we will adjust the pickup heights accordingly to make sure that we get the best tone out of it. But before we do all this modding, let's go ahead and get our baseline first. You guys know what you need to do. Go ahead and hit that like button so my hand will turn back to normal. Thanks. So this is what the Glarry GJazz II sounds like, completely stock, including these stock strings which come with it. I believe they're Warwick strings. They list the strings as a feature on the product page, these premium strings, and honestly, they sound pretty good. So I'm leaving them on here. Anyways. Again, this doesn't sound bad for $150 or so. These Wilkinson pickups are definitely picking up the slack, where the regular GJazz really doesn't sound like much, especially not a jazz bass. This at least has some jazz-like qualities here. I'm really hoping this John East preamp is going to breathe a little bit of extra flavor and character into this Glarry over here, as well as I think the pickup heights might help things out a bit too. Anyways, to the workbench. And we're here at my workbench. We're going to be installing the John East J-Tone preamp. This is really nice. I've always been a big fan of John East preamps. I've used them in a lot of projects, and I'm very excited to see how this is going to sound in this Glarry here. This is a solderless preamp. There's a spot for our bridge ground and our cavity ground. I'm not going to deal with shielding the Glarry. No. And there's a spot for our pickup wires here, our hot and our ground wires for each pickup. So this is ready to go, and there's a spot for the battery to sit in the compartment. This should be relatively quick and easy. Let's get started. One other little feature that the John East preamp has, we have these two little wheels here. One is for a bass frequency target, and one is for a treble frequency target for our bass and treble controls respectively. This is a very nice feature. I have them both set to center right now, but you do have that flexibility to kind of move things wherever. Now let's start by removing the stock electronics here. 3 screws hold down the control plate. The screws are out. Let's take this out. Pretty clean control cavity. There's no shielding or anything. This is a $150 instrument, so not really expecting anything of the sort, but alas, this is what we have here. So these 2 wires here are our pickup wires for a neck pickup. These 2 wires here are our bridge pickup. And this blue wire here is going to be our bridge ground. I'm going to go ahead and snip all the wires, and then I'm going to strip the ends, and we're going to plug them into our John East preamp. We'll toss in a battery, and I'm just going to try and adjust the pickup heights a little bit. Let's get started. The stock control plate has been removed. Let's strip these wires now. Now with our wires stripped, let's go ahead and install them into the preamp. We're going to need our little tiny screwdriver here, and that's pretty much it. So here's the neck pickup. You have some little text here for neck and bridge, and it says hot and ground. Hot is on the right, hot is the white one. Make sure this is open. Okay, and with the pickups connected, let's attach our bridge ground right here. Now all we need is a battery and we'll be good to go. I have this random battery here. Let's install it. The battery harness is pre-installed, so again, this is completely solderless. This is really easy to install as long as you have good enough eyesight for these little screw connectors. My eyesight is bad, though. So parts of this were more challenging than they should have been for a regular person. However, I am a blind person. I'm not really blind, but... Now before we finish up, let's see if we can do something about the pickup height here. So go ahead and... Okay, I'm going to consider this good enough. Let's head back to the wall. And we are back with our modified Glarry. We've installed the John East J-Tone preamp, their entry-level preamp, which is a 2-band that also has a passive tone control. This is a great preamp, and I've just already been noodling around with this bass a little bit, and I'm actually really impressed. Keep in mind, the preamp does cost more than the bass. This was a video just for fun, and John East did provide this preamp for me for this video, so thank you so much, John. And I hope I do this preamp justice. I mean, I'm sorry that it's a Glarry, but this Glarry does have some nice Wilkinson pickups, and let's see how they sound right now. The blend is centered, the EQ is centered, and the tone control is at 100%. Here we go. Very nice, very nice. Now, one thing I did notice is with the blend control, the 60 cycle single coil hum is reduced a bit versus the stock configuration. Hear that? It's not as noisy. Keep in mind, I didn't do any shielding whatsoever. This is the same $150 Glarry. All I did was install the J-Tone preamp. We have the neck pickup soloed right now. Here's what that sounds like. EQ centered. If you want to add a little bit more bottom end to that, we have our 2-band EQ here. Let's boost the bass by about 50%. Here's what that sounds like. take the tone control down to about 50% as well. Most of that hum is eliminated. Let's see what that sounds like. And here's the tone all the way down, with the bass boosted 50%. Keep in mind that this is a Glarry. This preamp is definitely adding a lot more depth and character to this $150 Glarry. Now let's move over to the bridge pickup. Still a single coil pickup, we're going to get single coil hum, but it is reduced in my opinion versus the stock control configuration. I haven't done any shielding, nothing whatsoever, just popped the preamp in and adjusted the pickup height slightly. Here's the bridge pickup. I'm going to take the tone down to about 50% now. And let's boost the bass to about 25% and the treble to about 50%. And here's the tone all the way down with the treble and bass boosted. Very nice, very nice. I'm going to center the preamp now and take the tone back up, and we're going to center the blend control as well. Let's listen to both pickups together one more time with the preamp centered. Now let's boost the bass, boost the treble to about 50% on both sides. Let's see how she slaps now. mean, for a $150 bass with a $160 to $180 preamp, this does slap quite well. And I think the treble and bass boost that we have available give this Glarry, which was a little bit lacking tonally, that extra kick that it needs to really be able to, I guess, work in any sort of collaborative musical environment, be it jamming with friends or even at a gig. I mean, I've heard worse. Huh? Now finally, let's go ahead and throw some drums behind this bass. So here are my final thoughts on this modified Glarry with the John East J-Tone preamp. John East never fails to impress when it comes to these preamps, and this J-Tone for their entry-level jazz preamp is quite the preamp indeed. Now, unfortunately, he sent this to me after I did my whole jazz bass preamp guide. I guess I wish I had it before then, but alas, I think we did a nice job demoing what this preamp can do. It's a very flexible preamp that accentuates the jazz bass character quite nicely, even in a $150 Glarry. This isn't a bad instrument, it's not a great instrument either, but I feel like this preamp definitely compensated for any character flaws that the Glarry has, and made an overall pleasing sound and just a nice playing experience. Without the preamp, I thought it sounded a little bit on the weak side. Given that the pickups are a little bit on the wonky side in terms of height, I was able to correct it somewhat, but I didn't really take them out. I didn't want to deal with all that because it's a Glarry. But alas, I think that the preamp did a great job compensating, and we were able to get some really nice tones out of this bass in soloing the pickups as well as both pickups together. If you want to learn more about the John East J-Tone preamp, check out the link in the description below. And as for the Glarry, I mean, why not? I'll put a link to the Glarry. It's a Glarry. You don't want to put this preamp in this bass normally, but I wanted to show you guys how good this preamp is, and it could even transform the character of something like a $150 Glarry. So, great job, John East. I think this is an awesome preamp, and yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Well, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Be sure to like, subscribe, join our Discord channel, and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about our modified Glarry GJazz II with the John East J-Tone preamp. And as always, until we groove again.